Appreciate you, Coach. Well, later tonight in November, snowfall is forecasted to hit the Twin Cities, but right now, calm outside, and of course, a calm day inside U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Oakland Raiders and the Minnesota Vikings. Fielded about a yard deep. Yeah, they'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
Yeah, not a wolf. 50's a mic, 50's a mic. Come on, D!
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. On second down, it's Cook, and he'll go down right around the 47 this time. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
They'll run on first down. Cook. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be second and 11. Now Cook running right. Cook stripped. The ball's out, and the Raiders pick it up. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me, because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense.
What now? Raider 2. You ready? You can't block me.
First rep of the game for Josh Jacobs. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
It's 2nd and 8 at the Vikings' 46-yard line.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
It's just me and you. It's just me and you.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. From the gun, it's Carr. He's going to wind up and air it out. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Chapman. A very well-executed play. It goes for 29 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase it.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Josh Jacobs, his 6th touchdown of the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
The losing streak had taken on a life of its own, and I think it infiltrates a team when you're on that much of a slide. But this group has managed to focus, come out early, and put a touchdown on the board. They look like they mean business in this one.
They do. Now the key, holding on to that attitude, because, man, that streak has been a struggle for them. Elliott good on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset. Draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Taken in at the 22. A great blocking, nearly sprung in there. 28-yard return. And the Raiders will take over now, 1st and 10. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. And look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
55. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you. Express.
Throwing on 1st down, it's Carr. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. On 2nd down, Jacobs. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13.
Right down. You ready? All right, T. Let's go. All right, T. Express. T. Get up. You got it. Hey, check right. Watch it.
Shotgun now for Carr. And that is incomplete.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
as the punt team now as this one's sent away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Play action now. Brissett is going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions.
Let's get that ball here. Let's get that ball right here.
Out of the gun, Brissett. It's caught. Smith. And he'll be stopped short of the 1st down as they rally to tackle him at about the 28. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
Set up. 55. Back 55. Come on, boy. Come on, boy.
And now before this 4th and 2 play comes to fruition, they're going to think about it and call a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 1st quarter. Here's Tressway now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. This is taken around the 12. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10.
Mike, 55. Right there in the middle. 55. Let's go. White. Out. Watch safety creep. Topper.
On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. On 2nd and 11 now. Carr. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, it's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. 2nd quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They run the counter with Cook. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
On second down now, it's Cook, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
It's now 3rd and 5.
Brissett now. And the throw there going to be incomplete. And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. Brissett to throw for it on 4th. And that is going to be incomplete. Mike Zimmer got to be unhappy with how that turned out. And the Raider D, they get the football back. Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
We're good. 180. Express.
Watch a slant. Watch a slant. Watch a slant.
That's up.
Throwing now is Carr. That's caught by his tight end, Foster Moreau. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A Raider first down, 17 yards.
First down, Raiders.
Monday, down. 185. Get the ball.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That one will go as a gain of 11. Raiders having a first down as well.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 43.
55. Right there in the middle. 55.
Check tight. Check tight. Check tight.
Right back to Sanders on 1st down. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Big series right here. We got to step it up. Right there. 54. Right there. Right there. 54 Mike.
From the 40 now on 2nd down. Carr got his man. That's Tyrell Williams. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 20-yard line. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
Sorry, we get slap happy up here sometimes. On second down, it's Jacobs. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Here's play number 7 on the drive. This is 3rd and 7.
I got you, son. I got you. You're all mine. Express. You draw quarter. What's that? Check Mike 54. Mike 54. What's that?
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
What's that?
Operating from the gun. Carr. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
The kick by Elliott is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. An incredibly short kick fielded way up there. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go-around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you've got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Play fake, Brissett. And this one complete to Smith. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. On play action, Brissett.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
Off the play fake, here's Brissett. And it's complete right back in the hands of Smith. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 45 seconds to go in the first half.
1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They go play action with Brissett. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Carl Joseph. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. If that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
A bit of an opening there on the first down run as they get this forward for about 6 yards. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 25-yard line.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Watch the run.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Raiders with the lead already, and they will get the football here as the second half is now underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Carr with a play fake to Jacobs. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Danielle Hunter in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
They need to stop to get back into this game, and here's one right to start the third quarter.
Yeah, anytime you go into the lockers with that 2-3 deficit, you're right. You need that stop, get the football back, and they've done just that.
Series to series, play to play.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. He's airing it out for Williams. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Well, the crowd doesn't like that. Was going to bring up 4th. Now it's 1st.
They don't like it at all, do they? It brings them back into it, but really not in a positive way. Now they're angry. That can jangle a team a little bit as well. Pass interference ruined that series of downs for them.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. 2nd down, a little more productive than 1st. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now.
Hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3.
54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Here we go, D. All day. Defense.
Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Raider linemen might have been moving. Oh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
Now after the false start, they need 8 yards here on 3rd down.
Let's see what you got. Mike 5-4. Mike 5-4. Mike 5-4. Let's go, defense.
From the gun, Carr. He's got a man open. It's Hunter Renfrow. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 20-yard line.
13, spill.
On first down, it's Jacobs. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19. Defensively, Ogbanya Okoronkwo made the stop.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Pilot, 64.
Carr going to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now.
Now, 180.
Check, watch 54.
Raider 2.
Here we go, G, get off the field.
That's it. Based on travel.
Mark 54. In your face.
Check, that's it.
They'll run with Sanders. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what, whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger. But no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing. And try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 17 yards, first down, Vikings.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
They'll run on first down. It's Cook, and he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go as a loss of 7, and it'll set him back for 2nd down. Throwing on 2nd and long. Brissett. Open here, Adam Thielen. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Switch it.
Shedding the tackler that gives him some room. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. He was looking for Paul Richardson there. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Don't get nervous.
They'll run with Cook, and he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. Now on 2nd and 13, Brissett looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Avonte Maddox. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
It'll be Sanders to begin the drive. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Here's Carr. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Carr and the Raiders following the sack, looking up at a 3rd and long.
Ready?
Now Carr. Looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. 21 yards there on 3rd down. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, this is a video game, man. Go ahead and put the numbers up. Sportsmanship, not an issue.
Exercise those fingers. Carr now, 5 straight completions here in this 2nd half. 1st and 10. Here's Jacobs. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Carr. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 17. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So they get the takeaway, but that's just step one. They still have a lot of work to do.
But they don't want to focus on that now. Now it's about getting the ball in the end zone and hoping they can take it away again.
Yeah, still 3-score game, though, 4th quarter.
Watch the twist. Watch the twist.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. He's got a man, complete. A big play there for Minnesota. 45 yards. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage, and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
They run. Cook. No, a nifty juke there.
Not much fun for a guy trying to tackle him.
Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a first down. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. 1st and 10 at the 19. Cook. He'll get forward for 3 down to the 16-yard line. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Hey, switch gears, switch gears.
Check nine, check nine. Ready, go.
On the carry, it's Cook. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. Brissett setting up the screen for Cook. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture is now they've got a 1st and 10. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Antonio Brown, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And it's 17-7. So the lead back down to 10 as things get a little more interesting, and the kick is away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. On first down, it's Jacobs. The football comes out. Jacobs lost it. And the Vikings pick up the football. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Well, that's one of those mistakes. That's a fumble that when they get to the sidelines, I know you're mad, Coach, but look, we still got this locked down. But that's not necessarily true, is it?
Well, their hopes are slim, but you just hate to give them any hope. You could have sealed it right there.
Yeah, could have finished them off and taken away all hope, as we like to say.
A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. 12 yards there. First down, Vikings. They go play action here on first down. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Antonio Brown with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And this game not quite in hand yet. We'll likely see all 3 timeouts defensively and then reassess where we are. And all the way down to the 35. A big play that time for the Raiders. 45 yards.
Well, they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35.
Mike's 54. Mike's 54.
Now Sanders. They follow up that gigantic gain with the tiniest of pickups, 1 yard. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. They'll go again with Sanders. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves them with a 3rd down and 8. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. On third down, here comes Jacobs. And he will be marked down short of the first as they get to him at the 29. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play.
46-yard attempt.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And they stretch the lead to 6. It's 20-14 now. So a good kick there to polish off the drive with 3 points.
Yeah, coaches always talk about finishing a drive with a kick. 2 of them give you points, either an extra point or, in this case, a field goal.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you got to work.
That's caught inside the 20. And they're going to score! A long touchdown! No flags! No time remaining! And they're an extra point away from winning the game!
And the celebration is now just an extra point away from being full on. Think about those who may have left the stadium a little bit early thinking their guys might not get this done. Oh, it got done, and in a big way.
Well, this was a game we'll have in the memory banks for a while. The winning touchdown at the end, and then they had to get that extra point. You know, the knees were shaking, but he put it through, and boom, a dramatic victory.
And just remember, prior to 2015, that extra point almost felt routine, didn't it? Like it was a fait accompli. But when we moved it back to the 15, now the drama kicked in. So, yes, the touchdown, extremely important. Obviously, they had to have it. That was huge. But that was not a gimme, and he knocked it through the posts.
So for the Vikings, it's just their second win here in 11 tries this season. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Meanwhile, for Oakland, they've fallen out of things now as they sink to 3-8. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
Big numbers, 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number.
Hey, foreign cars, foreign seats with the foreign leather. Foreign number, put the card in the ATM in the sad era. Yeah, flex mode, this ain't Southwest, this is jet. I ain't gotta shut the cell off, cause the iPhone don't got a jet mode. Bad need pesto. If you wanna come, let's go. We ain't going nowhere special. I just wanna see Modesto. Hit your thought, I'ma catch those. Mexican, I make pesos. Hit your sus, I'll replace those. Number save, no name though. We need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board like I'm keeping score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard. Hey, 30 on my wrist, bullet point to God.
Big numbers, 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number.
Yeah, wrist man, check the wrist man, got him hot. Hey, man can't ball like this, man. Lord, past the pig skin, when he stretch a distance. I'm talking a few 100,000 yards, you just on your 5th grand. Run it up, count it up. Hey, 100s and 50s and 20s, no 5s and no singles, don't count on them. Hey, she want it like me cause her lame, she can't count on him. She try to be nosy and hit on my ex. She like, girl, you can count on him. Hey, hey, we need more. Tell him we need more. Putting numbers on the board, let them keep the score. Hey, 16 cars in my front yard. Hey, 30 on my wrist, bullet point to guard.
Big numbers, 100-minute bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number. Big numbers, 100-minute